Hi, I hope everyone is doing really well, and thank you so much for clicking on the video. It's been almost 2 months since someone has called me fat to my face, and that's actually quite impressive because there was a while there where I felt like people were just saying it to me all the time, and it probably wasn't all the time, and I'm probably jinxing myself, and next week every single day someone is going to tell me how fat I am. However, today I'm talking about what it's like and how to respond when someone calls you fat to your face. So it's never a nice thing to say or hear to have someone critique your body in that way and to call you that dreaded F word. I have been called fat my entire life. The first time I remember being called fat, I was 3 years old. Okay, so this is nothing new to me. And it got to the point where I just became accustomed and I became used to being called fat. It just was what I was. I just accepted it and it became my identity. However, the thing is, I have never been fat. I've always been a little pudgier, a little, baby fat when I was younger, but I've never been like obese or anything like that. But I just became used to it. It just was. So when you become used to hearing that from your friends, from your family, you start to believe it because these are the people closest to you, so they must be telling you the truth. That's how our brains work. When I was younger, yes, I had a little baby fat, I was a little pudgy. I was a very round kid. You can see it. I have round features. However, as I got older and I grew and I got taller, the baby fat kind of went away. Also, eating disorders help with that. But I still was stuck on what other people said to me. I was still stuck on the I am fat or being called fat when I'm younger, and I couldn't see past it. So when I look in the mirror, I still see that fat kid. I don't see what's really in front of me. So it's really daunting to still be called fat today when I know what I've been through, what I've done to myself, what I used to look like, not just pudgy, but also incredibly dangerously thin. So it's very difficult to be told that you're fat. And I'm an adult. I shouldn't, you shouldn't let these things bother you when you know they're not true. But when you are so accustomed and so used to hearing it, and when you've known that you at one time you were a little bit on the bigger side, it's really hard to know what's factual, what's actually true about you, and what people are just saying, and they're saying it from a mean place or an not knowledgeable place. For me, how does hearing that make me feel? Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I know that I am a strong individual, but for that brief moment when someone says that to me, I am weak. My whole being is just taken down. I'm taken to a place that I don't like going. It's a very judgmental feeling, not just from the person, but also from myself. I feel judged by them and I am judging myself. I mean, in a matter of seconds, 1,000,001 thoughts go through my head, most of which are self-deprecating and hatred, towards myself. It really brings on these feelings of doubt, unknowing, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy. In today's society, there's such a emphasis on what we look like determines our self-worth, and that the word fat is such a negative connotation that when it's used, it just brings you down into such a depressing place. So the feelings surrounding being called fat are negative, obviously. It's not a nice thing to hear, especially when you're trying so hard not to believe that about yourself and you're just trying to be happy and accepting of your body as it changes, especially for me. As you go through recovery, as you start to gain weight, as you start to become a healthy weight, your body does change. I have found that I have, curves, I have hips these are things I never had before, and now I have them, and I have to learn to accept that this is what healthy looks like. This is what healthy feels like. And it's a long process, and it takes a while, like anything that you have to get used to and accept. So how do you, when you hear someone saying that to you and you're trying so hard not to believe it, and you're trying to believe the opposite, that you are healthy, that you are recovering, that you are conquering this disease, how do you deal with it? The first thing that I do, because it's specific people who say these things to me, and I know for a fact it comes from a place of jealousy, and it can come from a place where they're not happy with themselves. So if they see a flaw or something in someone else, they'll point it out and maybe feel a little bit better. Does it make them feel better? Probably not, because how does insulting me change what they don't like about themselves? And I always try to remember, you don't have to listen to other people. Focus more on the positive voice that's inside your head. In the moment, it's very hard to remember to do that, but as you get through recovery, as you progress, you will gradually, it'll become like second nature to just ignore them and just listen to yourself. It's hard, but it comes with practice. It comes with making mistakes. It comes with moving forward. And you just got to leave those people who bring you down. If you have to deal with them, you deal with them when you have to. You don't have to bring them along for the ride. They're not supporters. They're not here to help you. You have to be there to help yourself. Yes, being called fat hurts. It's a horrible thing. You shouldn't say it to anyone, and you shouldn't have to hear it from anyone. So when people do say it, you don't have to listen. You just have to listen to yourself. And just kind of move forward in your recovery, and to always choose recovery and reaffirm your decision to go through recovery, and it'll make the progress and every day a little bit easier. So that is my little bit on being called fat. I bring it up because the other day I thought to myself, it's been a while since someone's called me fat. It's pretty exciting. So hopefully that streak of not hearing that continues. Anyway, thank you so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.